as you know very well. And say Marxist atheism is that Nietzschean atheism is characterized by longing for God. It's, you can say, religiosity without religion. Or, the formula is very simply, God is dead, meaning to say he wants to get existed, meaning to say there were beliefs that were compelling enough so that men could believe in it. That God was once again compelling, and that made life possible. The loss of God is catastrophic from Nietzsche's point of view, and in the characterization here, chaos. Of course, what he does is he puts into man what we know from the Bible. I mean, if God was to be creative, or to create the universe out of nothing, it was obviously out of a chaos. Otherwise, God was not free. Nietzsche argues that for man to be creative, if the word is to mean anything, there must be chaos. And chaos means to say that which is not guided or organized by any rational principles, which one can get no light from reason. And in some sense, it is this chaos that Nietzsche, in some sense, is trying to cultivate. And one has to recognize, you see, the notion of creativity as being a good thing, everybody has accepted. The notion that chaos is a good thing, people have not accepted it. But the question is whether the two are not, necessarily connected. And what chaos means, of course, is violence, brutality. Chaos means no principle of peace. Reason means the possibility of peace, ordering, at least in principle. Chaos, and you see, Nietzsche argues, of course, that chaos, that creativity, growth, means to say war among men, subordination, enslavement, rebellion, overcoming. A kind that the underlying experience of man who really faces his situation, and the man who's going to be creative, is in the first place chaos. And he said, you still have chaos in your soul. The implication is there is the tendency of modernity has been to take away the chaos. Well, why shouldn't one take away chaos? Well, his argument, of course, is that it is not really taking it away. It is a superficial covering over of the fundamental situation, a kind of hopefulness, but a low hopefulness. And the will to power, of course, is just the notion. The will to power is, of course, just another expression for chaos. An active chaos. That's as opposed to just lying flat and doing nothing. You see, of course, the whole notion of the unconscious, which Nietzsche did not invent, but to which he gave a new meaning, was, of course, the source of the chaos. The unconscious is opposed to the conscious. If your students know Descartes, which they should by this, the rational consciousness of the modern scientific method is merely a little island or a little boat floating on the unconscious, which is meant to be a correction of Descartes. The whole notion, of course, the absurdity of what came immediately after, which again was a democratic understanding. Yes, we do have this chaos. We have the unconscious. Everybody agrees there's such a thing as unconscious now. There's hardly, when I was a kid, or when some of you were kids, that was a very controversial thing. But now it's absolutely certain. But at the same time, we think, well, science can understand the unconscious. We see how absurd that is. I mean, if the unconscious is really chaos, then science cannot possibly grasp it. And the difficulty with that, is that, that, of course, that is, even from a Nietzschean point of view, much worse than people who don't believe in the unconscious, because in unconsciousness, the source of, violent but creative experiences, great longings, if it can really be exhausted by reason, then, of course, the last, reason itself would take on a ragged and irrational air, but at the same time, that world would be tamed. It could be subject to order. And so Nietzsche here is speaking in the name of chaos. Alas, the time has come when man will is coming when man will no longer give birth to a star. Alas, the time of the most despicable man is coming, he that is no longer able to despise himself. Behold, I show you the last man. And what is love? What is creation? What is longing? What is a star? Thus asks the last man, and he blinks. I don't know whether you've noticed this. Just became, students never use the word love anymore. I mean, they'll use brotherly love or something like that, but love for what they now call interpersonal relations. It simply is not used, and it's a striking. There's they have a good relationship, hell, but what does love mean? A very dangerous abandon, in particular, a form of possession, a desire to be possessive, and hence connected with that the possibilities of jealousy, anger, all of those distorting phenomena, which have become particularly problematic within feminism, or in the relations taking place under in the new dispensation of feminism, and that would not have been a surprise to Nietzsche, because Nietzsche would take with that which is understood to be